is Lorna Francis. I'm the Commercial Development Manager for Hotel Chocolat. We're based in Soufrière, St Lucia, and we're just on the outskirts of the... Owned by two gentlemen. We've got Angus Thirlwell and Peter Harris. 15 years ago they started mail order chocolatiering. So what they did was they sourced chocolate from around the world, the fine flavour chocolate, and sold it mail order to their customers. So they already had a following of customers who were chocolate tasting members. Then five years ago they decided what they would like to do is to get to open their own store. So rather than do mail order, they'll open a shop. So they opened their first store in the UK 5 years ago. They've now got 55 stores in the UK with 3 opening in the next month. They've got 3 in the United Emirates, and I think they've got 2 so far in America. They've got 1 in Boston, and they are opening 1 in New York, but there's plans for more. At that stage, after they opened the first store, they decided, well, if they're doing fine flavoured cocoa and they're making their own chocolate, they might as well look for an estate. So they looked around the Caribbean and found the Rabo estate, which is where we are now, in St Lucia. It's been a cocoa growing estate since 1746. So that actually helped. What they did, they took samples from all the trees because there's different varieties of cocoa. They took samples from the trees on the estate and sent it off to Reading University to get tested to see what type of cocoa was already grown on the estate. What they established was they already had Trinitario, which is the finest flavoured cocoa. So, as well as other kinds of cocoa grown on the estate. Now, Trinitario is the fine flavour, which is the one that they would want to grow. So what they started doing was grafting Trinitario onto the plants. So we do grafting here, which is different to anywhere else. So we can determine exactly what cocoa we have. If you planted a seed, it would take you 6 years to grow, and at the end of it, you wouldn't know which type of cocoa you've got unless you send it to test. With grafting, it takes 18 months before you get the crop, and because you've grafted Trinitario on the top, you know that is what you've got. So that's the difference. Once they bought the estate, they decided, well, Hotel Chocolat was just a metaphor. There was no hotel expected to be built. It was just a metaphor. They came up with the name just as a name for their stores. And then they thought, right, we'll build the real Hotel Chocolat, which they haven't built yet. What they've built is just a boutique restaurant with a few pods, we call them. So we've got 6 pods, we've got 8 fillers, and then we've got the Boucan restaurant where we serve in all our menu. We've got it's cocoa infused. So it may not be chocolate infused, so there may be the cocoa oil, the nibs, the grinded cocoa, just various types, different stages of the cocoa infused in the menu. So where you'd think it's all chocolate, the desserts obviously are very chocolatey and very nice, and we make our own chocolate in-house on the estate. It's a working plantation, so we do have farmers. We've got about 130 employees at the moment. So with it being a working estate, we do tours on the estate where we take people to see how the farmers work. We get our guests to actually graft their own plants. So you would graft a plant yourself, they'll show you how to do it, and they will plant it on the estate. In 2 years' time, if you were to revisit, you'd be able to see your plant and how big it's grown and be able to pick crop from there. What we also do is we get the guests to make their own Hotel Chocolat chocolate. So if you were to do one of our another tour, which we do, where you make the chocolate with the chef, he shows you from the bean how to actually make a bar of chocolate, and you'd walk away with a bar of chocolate made by yourself. Okay. The restaurant is open for in-house guests as well as locals and other resorts, and we do tend to find a lot of people in the UK. Obviously the brand speaks for itself. I mean, there's so many stores in the UK, so people hear Hotel Chocolat, they know exactly what you're talking about. So we do get a lot of guests who already know the brand. In America, we've only just opened over there, but people are getting to know us as a brand. So a lot of the decor here is very similar to the actual stores. So the dark wood is what you'd have in the stores. So you'd walk in and you'd see very, very similar attributes towards the stores, and even the pods, they're very, very similar. The villas that are being built should be ready by the 1st of January, and they're being built hurricane proof. they're 300 square foot bigger than the actual pods. And they've got front verandas, which shows you directly over to the Pitons, which is one of St. Lucia's main heritage sites. And there's 8 of them, so they'll be exclusive, inclusive, and they're very, very nice, very big. They're not completed yet, but I've been up there and the view is just fantastic from the actual villas. And I think that's about it.